Hello everybody, and I would like to welcome you to a very special episode that is hosted by me, that's Moose, where we are in Berlin, Germany. I thought that I would take this opportunity to teach you a little bit about some of the different things that happen in Germany and Berlin with regards to history and architecture. And I don't have a super solid plan, so we're just kind of go with it and see what happens. But I thought that I would start with probably the most recognizable part of Berlin, which is the Brandenburg Gate. Going to move a little bit so that we can see the statue. There's a whole story to tell you on that, and we're going to cover it tomorrow. I've had a very long day. My day started on Friday in Chicago at 7:30 in the evening, and it is now Saturday at 4 o'clock in the evening, but in Grand Rapids I think it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't really know anymore, I'm just kind of here. So I'm just kind of doing my best for today. I'm going to introduce a little bit, and then tomorrow we're going to dive in and do a lot. Each section has some pretty impressive sculpture going on that are nearly impossible to see, but I'm doing my best for you all.
Walk around, sir.
We're going to walk down towards my personal favorite bit of public works, which you can see at the end here, and I will tell you about it when we get there. Have you figured out what it is yet? Incidentally, this isn't where I was taking you, but we passed it on the way. However, a monument to those who fell in the struggle against fascist invaders seems somewhat appropriate at this time. We will come back to this, but I wanted to make sure to get some images of it for all of you. We're going to talk about it later, but I want you to pay attention to the typeset used here. It's actually a really important history lesson, but it works best if I tell it to you when I'm next to what came after it. So just look at that. Remember that. We'll get to that.
Deutsche Bürger, reiht euch ein, würde ich sagen. Es wird Zeit, dass sich was ändert in diesem Land. Auf die Straße, reiht euch ein. Bürger, lasst das Glotzen sein. Auf die Straße, reiht euch ein! Reiht euch ein!
Nicht nur klotzen, sondern wir kämpfen auch für euch. Nur mal eins nicht vergessen, auch ihr zahlt Steuern und müsst diese Leute finanzieren, die hier umsonst leben. Warum sind unsere Frauen abends nicht mehr auf der Straße? Weil sie Angst haben, von irgendwelchen herlaufenden Verbrechern angegriffen zu werden. Das müsst ihr auch begreifen. Nicht alle Flüchtlinge sind schlechte Flüchtlinge. Aber solche Arschlöcher wie ihr, dich müsstest es mal treffen, dann würdest du anders denken. Aber man will kein irgendwas Schlimmes wünschen. Auch ihr seid dran mit den Steuern, nicht nur wir. Also überlegt euch, wen ihr ausweiten wollt. Es sind auch eure Steuern, euer Steuergeld.
But this one looks familiar. Forgive me, the protest is still going on. So this is what a memorial looks like when you do something really bad and you don't want to do it again. There are many of them in Germany and especially in Berlin. This poem is in several languages. Here's the English. And then it has a timeline of what happened. It is in German, but hopefully we all took history and we know what happened. We can go into that a bit later. The point is more that it's covered fairly specifically. The important takeaway from it is right here. 500,000 men, women, and children perished. And the memorial has shattered pieces going into the pool. So we're back by the Brandenburger Tor, and here's another sign. Notice that one looks a bit different. We're still not quite at the one that I'm hitting on, but you'll see the transition. That looks radically different than the first one. There's a sign right up here. Ha. That is part of it. It's a little hard to see. I'm trying to make it not quite as backlit, but it's just, I don't think I can work with that. So that was designed specifically to be as readable as possible, which seems really obvious in signs that we have in streets today, but that didn't used to be the case. The first sign I showed you was in Fraktur, which was the standard typeface used for a very long time in this area. And it might be completely easy for people who are super familiar with it to read it, but if you're not, it doesn't even necessarily mean that you're not German. It could just be that you're not from an area that used that specific styling. It can be hard to read because there's a lot of variance in it. And one of the things that they had to do as part of the war effort was make it as easy as possible for people to move across infrastructure. So one of the priorities was making street signs that were as legible as possible, to convey as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. So that is one of those things that seems completely intuitive now, but was pretty radical back when they didn't. And the sign up here, that I cannot quite read from where I am at, is the exact typeface that was used in the transition. So this one that says Bärenstraße, I'll get a little closer. That is it. And Ebertstraße. So those are really easy to read. And now we're at one of the things that I wanted to share with you. I'm looking for a sign. But we'll see if you can figure out what it is. Well, I don't see a sign at the moment, so I will share with you what my phone told me it was called when I put it in my GPS. There's no need to fancy up the name. On all of the maps, it is the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe. So I'm going to share this with you. I'm going to take some photos of this as well, so I will be back in a minute. These are different. So we're going to take a minute and talk about architecture. Well, no, we're not going to talk about it. I'm just going to show it to you. So Berlin has some pretty distinctive styles going on, and this is something that I'm going to get into later. However, this street is pretty diverse in that it covers many of the major ones all in one go. Fun fact, that's the embassy to the Republic of Singapore. I do think it's pretty cool how they just mix the old and the new, and a lot of places do that. I mean, it's not something unique to here, but it pleases me greatly whenever I see it happen somewhere. Hey, that's a fun one. Get up on the corner. Kind of see it there as well. We have a very diverse array of architecture. This is a pretty good street corner to just see a little bit of each type here. As soon as I stopped recording, I noticed it. There we go, another one. Loud, so I'm sorry. But we are at Potsdamer Platz, which is right downtown, and I am in front of, I hope you know, Berlin Wall, and I thought you might like to see it. Obviously it was much bigger than this, but you can see there's this line. So a couple of things to cover. The first is that the wall was actually two walls. It was this wall, which got covered in graffiti, and then another wall, which served as a barrier between the two. So you had a bit like a DMZ in the middle, and you can see kind of how it was positioned. And the wall split the city of Berlin into two pieces. And what it actually did was build a wall around West Berlin, because East Berlin was in East Germany, and so that was homogeneous, but they wanted to block the West German area off. So 3 districts within Berlin were walled off. There was Wedding, Tiergarten, and Kreuzberg, and those were the 3 areas that were West Berlin. And now they're open, but you can still see some, vestiges of either side. And throughout the entire city is this line. And there are pieces of the wall in a lot of places. I mean, they ripped it down, but it was recognized basically immediately that it was something that was worth preserving to some capacity, and they sell pieces of it, and a bunch of pieces of it have gone to different institutions. The President Ford Museum in Grand Rapids has a piece of it. I think they might actually have two, and they're far from the only place lots of them have it. But that is the center of the Memorial Ford Wall. And I will let you guys see if you can figure out which side was which from where I'm standing. It's pretty obvious to me, but I'm not a good judge, perhaps, because I know the answer.
Die Polizei auch haben.
Aber die BVG hat
parts of core German history and how Germany, well, more to the point, Germans have tended to respond to some of the forces that have hit this area over the past 150 years. So take of it what you wish, but it's an interesting choice. However, those guys seem to be the reason why every turn I have made this afternoon has gotten blocked. I had 4 places that I wanted to see, and all 4 of them were barricaded off because they were getting a police path. I didn't know. So perhaps they will not be doing it tomorrow. We shall see. But we are nearing the end of daylight for the day. It is, I told you, time doesn't matter anymore. It is 7 o'clock on Saturday night. And the sun is setting. I'm really hungry. I'm really tired. And I keep hitting protesters. So I'll see what I can show you tomorrow. Oh look, more policemen. At this point, I'm feeling like every person who works as a policeman in this part of the country is in the city today. However, as far as I can tell, they haven't needed to do anything substantive, so they've got that going. Such pretty architecture over here, though.